going to the next level, we talked about that. What qualities, and I want to hear from each of you, what qualities do you look for in a woman or a man?
Communication, effective communication.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And they have to be happy within themselves first before they can commit to a relationship.
Okay.
Those are the two qualities that I look for.
Kelvin?
Well, it's not what I look for, but what I encourage people to look for. I'm almost got 20 years in marriage, so it's not me. But what I encourage is sexual attraction and non-sexual attraction. The sexual attraction is kind of the glue that holds things together. Like I find you attractive. I find you appealing, right? But the non-sexual attraction is the stuff that is going to determine whether this glue even there's even a block there, right? The reason that we're coming together, not what we coming together for the night to do, because that's the sexual attraction part. But what we going to do when the sun come up?
Okay.
What are we going to do 2 years from now? What are we going to do 5 years from now? How we add value to each other's life. That's the two things that I think is most important.
To
Yes,
me, the biggest one is honesty. Because if you're being honest with me, I can make my own decisions. When you take my honesty, you took my capability of making a decision for myself. So all of that other stuff falls under honesty for me. And then secondly, that credit report. I need to make sure that you're not finna pull, because that's another reason. Like the reason that relationship breakup is infidelity and money.
Money.
So you got to make sure, it's okay to have bad credit, but when you withhold it and now I fell in love with you and now it's 2 years later and we want to buy a house or whatever. Some people are real. They don't like people seeing their information and all this other stuff and all that. Once we get to a certain point, there are certain conversations that need to be had.
That's utmost, because communication, once you have that communication, because later on that Venus flytrap may dry up, that other stuff may shrivel or can't get up. So you need to be able to have that conversation when you get to that age or whatever the case may be. Still have that communication. So for me, communication is the key, and a sense of humor, because with what's going on in this world today, you have to have that sense of humor. Joy, you look like you were bursting at the seams. Go ahead.
I look like that when he said about submissiveness. I was that person. I was that cater to you. I want to be submissive to you type thing. And submissiveness has so many definitions. So I still believe in that, but I believe men should also be submissive in a certain type of way, a different type of way than what women should. When it comes to intimacy, when it comes to sex, there were so many things that happened in my life. I hated sex, didn't want it. So my husband is extremely attractive, 6'4", 200 and something pounds, extremely attractive. Sex is all outdoor. But when it comes to sex, I didn't want that, because sex meant I was a silly, like, you just want to get on me and hump me, and that's how I felt. You know what I mean? So
do your business.
Right, like you just want to do your business. That's how I felt all my life, not just with him, but all my life. But now I'm 47 years old, and I know what I like, and I know what I want. Yes, and yeah, you have to be willing to cater to the sexual needs of both parties, and I feel like in order to have a cohesive relationship.
I have a question for you, Joy.
Yes.
Would you be open to, if your husband says he wants to bring a third party in the relationship?
No, not with me.
Right, that's what I was going to ask.
No, he could go out there and have it, but no, you're not bringing it into my household, because I don't think that works.
Red roof
per se, like, because somebody gonna end up getting upset somewhere, shape, form, or fashion. That menage a trois type thing, no, somebody gonna end up getting hurt. And I mean, I've done that. So me doing that and and getting stomped,
You got
yeah,
stomped?
no,
You said
yeah,
you
I
got
was getting
stomped?
yeah.
You ain't have the right one, baby. I had a whole girlfriend that was 90% of our relationship. We had people in the bedroom. That takes severe communication.
Wait a minute, are you still with her? Are you still with her?
We're not talking about that part. We're not talking
That's
about
my
that
point. That's my point, though. You're not still with her, so it caused some problems.
No. We didn't have intimacy. We broke up because she's crazy. But that's a
Oh,
whole
okay.
But
that didn't help. That didn't help her.
Yeah, no. Every little bit hurts. Yeah, you're right.
So Ryan, do you feel that you could bring a woman in the relationship and it would be okay?
Remember, you get married next year. Behave yourself. Don't say nothing you're gonna regret next year.
See, I want him to say something he's gonna regret. Shut up.
No, I don't. I can't. I myself, I can't do it. I can't do it. Like, when it's time for me to go in, I focus in on the task at hand right then and there. So I put that energy into that one. So the next one to be mad that I'm not giving her no focus. So I can't do it.
But I got a question though. We always ask the men, they want a threesome with a woman. But what if it was turned around and the woman say, "Oh, I want a threesome with this dude"? You wouldn't feel so comfortable though, right?
Not true. I'm the outcast of all these questions. I've done a little bit of all that.
Here's where
I was tricked into a scenario like that. The girl thought like she had to trick me, but I'm cooler than a fan, baby. If that's what you want, I love it. Let's get it. Look, a person is going to do what they want to do, right? And
anyway,
so long as you don't make me feel uncomfortable in my sexuality, I don't care. I'm with the shits. Oh, excuse my language. I'm with all of that because those little sparks and those little things. I mean, it's uncomfortable, but so long as you're secure in your manhood, you should be good. We both walk around swinging. It is what it is. You first, I'm second.
Calvin, step in, please.
But why should?
Well, to speak to the brother's point, listen, I'm gonna bring a little bit of maybe clarity and maybe some solid thinking about what he's just said. What he's actually saying is, I'm not going to put myself in a position as the mate until there's more reason to do so, right? So I've known some people who lived a life that was just free as a bird, and they slept with whoever they wanted to sleep with, and their partner was okay with it and all that. So one of the rules that they had was, if you go and you be with somebody, you don't have dinner with them. Like, and after you guys have sex, you get up and go sit in a chair somewhere, and don't do any cuddle time and any because sex is one thing and intimacy is another thing. So I have heard of that sort of thing happening. So maybe I don't know about the put it partially in. I don't know.
Listen, Kelvin, I will be taking him on as a client after this, okay? Because we're gonna have some conversations about that part. Okay. So, again, Black love is so important to me, especially when you're in a relationship. I'm not saying if you're in an interracial relationship, it's not important, but we seem to not get it right where others have gotten it right, especially when it comes to Black love and, longevity and.
Right. So I'm just saying, like even like how we talk about like our grandparents, and then they had it right and we don't have it right. Well, you know what? My great grandfather died, and at the funeral, they discovered he had two families.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Okay, they said Grandpa had two families and two people. Now you know what? You ain't gonna tell me that those women didn't know that guy had another family somewhere. Them women knew.
Listen, my grandfather was in his 70s, and because my grandmother didn't want, I'm gonna put it out there, my grandmother just didn't want to have sex anymore. So my grandfather, she asked my grandfather to sleep in another room. She just didn't want to have sex because he and I talked towards the end when he was passing. So he had a child in his 70s, right? In his 70s. And my grandmother was like, oh, because she realized if I'm not going to have sex with you, you're going to have sex with someone else, and it's okay. And I tell you, she got in, we met the girlfriend. I just thought she was a family friend. Yo, I didn't know they had a relationship. They would be driving, and my grandmother would say, sit in the front seat and I'll sit in the back seat. Because we all know the lady, and she's just been, but it was my grandmother, because my grandfather said he didn't want to do that, but she didn't want to, and he had a high sexual appetite. She just didn't want to have sex anymore. And we're talking about old West Indian women and men, just like Southern men and women, but that's what she said. People were shocked to see in his 70, his stuff was still swimming upstream. And then we found out I have an uncle. Most of my brothers in that age. Okay, so he was rolling like a Rolling Stone, but my grandmother was okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Because she was the one that said she didn't want that. So I'm putting that out there. So what's good for me may not be good for other people. You know what I'm saying?
But I just want to say, like, these are the conversations that need to be had.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Some of the things we mentioned here, some couples have never talked about.
Oh, we're gonna get wild in the next show.
Look, struggling with some of these things and never actually talked about it. So maybe somebody who is going to leave this conversation and go and have an honest conversation, and they'll hear what that Joy and her husband sit there and have open conversations about things that's in their minds, and it actually improves the relationship because there is that kind of communication. So you guys can follow me everywhere at Love Coach Atlanta. Every Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Love Coach Atlanta. Check out my YouTube channel called Secrets of the Mind of a Man, where we talk about how men think.
I want to thank each and every one of you, Joy, Kamel, Chris, Ryan, Kelvin, for joining us. And I want to do more panels because I think it's great to have more perspective and more heavily based with men, because I don't think men really get to talk a lot. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Women Are Worthy Network show. Tune in on Monday. Don't forget to subscribe. If you want to join our tribe, you must subscribe. Bye, everyone. It was great. Happy Friday.
Peace.